Hey there, Bible buddies. I've got another Bible review for you today, and you can probably tell by the size of the Sharpie versus the size of the Bible, this is a fairly tiny edition. Now, this specific one is an Oxford University Press Pearl. That's a King James Version Bible, and it's a Pearl 16mo thin. Now, the thin indicates that it's obviously a thinner Bible, so it's printed on like thinner paper, lower GSM. And that would make it a little bit thinner. Now, it's not like substantially thinner than a normal pearl. A normal pearl would probably add maybe 1/4 of an inch in thickness. But certainly if you're trying to get this in your Bible or in a pocketbook or something, a pocketbook, in a purse, if you're trying to get this into a purse or a back pocket or something like that, you'd probably want it to be a little bit thinner, smaller footprint, just to make it easier and more portable. So yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at this one. I'm not too sure what year it is because, Oxford didn't clearly spell out what year it's from, and there's no kind of indications or markings or anything that might give me a hint. But I'm going to assume that it is fairly old, just given the font that Oxford used here on the Bible, and then an interesting feature on the inside of the text that would lead me to believe it is probably around the turn of the century, because it's a feature that you don't see very much after the early 1900s. So let's take a look. First thing you notice is this beautiful leather pattern. Goodness, this is some beautiful leather patterning. I'm not even sure what this is. It's very tactile, and it's kind of like a small, almost like a pebble grain or something like that. I'm not too sure what the leather is made out of. Genuine leather, I'm assuming. And there is a very nice Yapp. So let's take a look. Let's take a look. I'm kind of worried to pull it apart because it is in kind of a delicate state. So I'll be gentle with it. There is a double perimeter line here. You have one on the very edge and then one kind of towards the edge of the book block, and a nice full Yapp there. Very close to full. I'm not going to force it, but close enough for me, right? And then on the spine, you just have Holy Bible and Oxford down there. And again, this Oxford is nothing like what they've used recently. And the same with the Holy Bible font there. And on the front, it's a nice kind of script font. Looks very nice and different, certainly. You'll notice too the absence of any spine hubs, which I think is interesting. It makes for a very nice, clean presentation. Just kind of leaves it, looking nice. Something different. On the back, everything kind of continues there with the double perimeter line, the Yapp, and that nice, lovely grain there. So certainly something unique, very unique kind of offering. On the inside, I'll show you the corner work there for whatever it's worth. And this, probably now well over 100-year. Old Bible. Interestingly, this is a leather. I guess it'd be like an edge line because this is a leather liner here, and it does seem to go up on the book block. This is a very nice, soft, supple leather, and then you do have William Davis and a very weird font kind of imprinted there. Thank you, William Davis, wherever you are. And it does say at the bottom, sewn with silk, which would be kind of the sewing that's on the back of the book block. Nowadays they do it with nylon thread. Back then they would have done it with silk thread. I'm not sure which one holds up better. I've always heard that silk has a very high tensile strength, so I would imagine silk would be stronger, but I'm not sure. It would be nice to see silk kind of brought back in higher end Bibles. I think that would be cool, and it's just kind of a nice hat tip to the olden times. In the back, there's nothing other than the corner work, and you can see kind of at the edge here, there's looks like a triple line here, kind of pressed into the edge of the liner, and that's pretty unique. I like that a lot. Certainly before that gold gilt line, before they were doing that gold gilt line. This would have been a way to kind of dress it up. Now, this side is leather on the cover, and then on the book block side, it's just like a black kind of matte finish paper there, so nothing too fancy. As far as the other external features, we do have white head and tail bands, and you do notice there's an absence of the ribbon, so no ribbon marker. But there is a very nice gold gilt, and I would imagine this is actual gold, only just given the color. It's kind of got like an orangey kind of hue to it. And it is very shiny, especially given the age. So I would imagine this is an actual gold leaf that they used. Very nicely done. Very nicely done, Oxford. Kudos. Goodness. We'll go ahead and get into it here. I'm trying to be delicate with it, gentle with it. We do have kind of an end sheet here. It's a thicker paper. We have our title page there, the Holy Bible. And I'll zoom in for you guys. I got to remember to do that because this is a very tiny Bible. You can see it is produced by Oxford, and it is a pearl, all the way down there, pearl 16mo thin. It does say Oxford Facsimile Series number 6A. I thought it might have said India paper, but it is not India paper. Or at least it's not indicated if it is. I would imagine it's probably not India paper only because of the oxidation. This page has yellowed quite a bit, substantially. You do have a listing here of additional matter. And these are going to be all the helps that are throughout the end of the Bible there. And there is quite a bit. We'll get to it here in a little bit. And then we have the epistle dedicatory. And then we have the table of contents here at the end of the epistle dedicatory. And then you have the first book of Moses called Genesis. It gets right into it. Now, what I was talking about, and this is a feature that you don't really see in modern kind of renderings or really anything past kind of the turn of the century. And it's these kind of outlines here on the edge of the text. I am a huge fan of this. I think it looks beautiful, how they frame the text like that. I'll turn the page. I just love the way it looks, and I don't know why. I would imagine they kind of removed it because it does tend to kind of, goodness, I can't even turn the page. Because it does tend to kind of clutter up the page. If you're trying to take notes, it technically gives you a little bit less space to write notes in. But there's just something about it to me. It just looks beautiful, having that nice frame around the edge, around the text there. All right, so let me see if I can call out some of these features to you. They do have running headers here at the top of each column. You have the book and the chapters that are associated with it. Now, it appears to be only the chapters that start on the page because we do have the remainder of chapter 1 here, and it's not indicated up above. It just says 2 and 3, so the 2 starting chapters. There are summaries, it appears to be, at the end of or at the beginning of the chapters. Let me try and get you close enough to where you can see them. Just a little summary there at the beginning of chapter 2 and 3. And then we do have, it appears to be before Christ, 4004. So there are some dates there for the chronology of the Bible. And then you have your translator's notes and your cross-references here, all in the side column. Now these are just microscopic. I mean, they're almost impossible for me to even read now. So I don't know how somebody would have read one of these editions by candlelight back in the late 1800s or early 1900s. It amazes me sometimes how dedicated you would have had to have been to reading the Bible to be able to read this. But yeah, let's just kind of flip through it. I'll kind of show you guys some little portions of text there. There's a page number at the bottom. They do have double line drop caps at the beginning of each chapter. And they are using very tiny little Pilgrim markers there to indicate the new paragraph. Yeah. Just a double column verse by verse, kind of standard fare for the King James. And we'll flip to it. Let's get to the poetic section. Not that it's going to be much, but there you can see the poetic section. There's no poetic formatting, obviously, because it's just a double column. But we'll take a look at the paper. It is a very nice paper. I mean, there's like almost minimal show through. And again, my biggest problem with this kind of real thin paper that used to use back then. I mean, this is really like onion skin. It's a very thin paper. My biggest problem is just being able to turn it, and you saw it earlier how hard of a time I was having with being able to just turn a page or two. So that's kind of my only complaint with this thin paper. But otherwise, I mean, the show through is amazing. There's very little. I mean, you might be able to see some haziness, but minimal show through. You can see the very nice red under gold art gilt that was done, and this is just spectacular. Very well done, very even, very nice and dark. Obviously, it's discolored a little bit. It's like a dark salmon color, probably because of the fact that the page has oxidized. But very well done nonetheless. Oh, flip right to it. The New Testament. There we go. So you have the end of the prophets, and then you have the New Testament. Title page there. And then we have the Gospel according to St. Matthew. And this is a black letter text. I don't know. This might even precede red. No, it doesn't precede red letter text, but it is definitely not red letter text. Black letter text here. So if you're a fan, go for it. I don't know why you would want one of these editions because they're so microscopic. Again, I guess if you're trying to throw it in your purse or in your pocket or something like that, it would be a good option for that. But I don't know. It would just be so hard to read, I feel like. So here we are at the end of the Bible. Revelation 22, the end. And then we have helps. I'll let you guys read that if you're interested. And you can see that it is quite a hefty chunk here at the end. Quite a sizable amount of helps. Again, given the size of it, it's, I couldn't imagine studying from this. Let me go do a deep dive in my Oxford Pearl with a 4-point font. That sort of thing. I don't know. But it's funny to me. So we'll just I'll just kind of flip through this. I mean, a lot of this stuff is so, microscopic that it's hard to show. But you have summaries and generic helps there. More summaries. Probably going to be a chunk of summaries here. And you have chronologies, the family of Herods. References to the Old Testament not being exact quotations. Geography and topography of the Holy Land. Insects of the Bible. So there's some pretty unique stuff here, I'll say. A glossary of antiquities, customs, and C. I'm not sure what and C period means. Maybe etc., etc. Words obsolete or ambiguous. Subject index. So there's quite a bit of helps. Really, this would have been a very useful edition. It's just the size is the only thing for me. There's even a concordance back here. Man, just being, I don't know, this size though. Maybe people had better eyes back then. Maybe they had like 2010, 25 vision, something like that. Better than me to sit down and read this by candlelight. No, thank you. I'm very grateful for large print, large size Bibles. The MLT Life Application Study Bible in large print. It might be a 6x9, but I'll take it. It's got that large font. But a little bit of everything. People's names, proper names, index to the Scripture Atlas. So they're not calling it a gazetteer, I guess. But we have a blank sheet there between the helps and the maps here. And then we do have these ancient maps. Look at this. All right, these are lovely maps. I don't know, they're beautiful to me, albeit extremely hard to read. Nice to look at, right? And kind of weirdly, they're almost like they're printed on like the reverse side of the page. You would expect them to be on this side of the page, but they're not. So a few of those maps kind of through the end there. Well, this one's on that side of the page. Kind of weird how they did that. Oh goodness! I mean, like, look at this. Look how tiny it is. So tiny. Okay. Let's keep going. Oh, let's keep going. We're almost done. Yeah. So that's the last map, and then you have kind of some thicker sheets here again, and then there's just some kind of penciling in here, which I would imagine was not from the factory. So certainly a nice edition. I mean, very nice, very well done, very, very nice construction. I couldn't say anything negative about it other than the size of the font, which is a shame because it does have so many helpful features. But certainly if you're looking for something like man-portable and very, very small, this would be the way to go in Oxford Pearl. And they do make other editions of the Pearl that don't contain all the helps, so you'd be able to get one that's even thinner than this, presumably, if you can find an Oxford Pearl. I don't remember seeing too many of these past, oh goodness, maybe like the 1920s, if even that late. These are older editions. A lot of the editions were kind of turn of the century, and then really a few years after that, Oxford kind of pared down what they offered because there was just a tremendous number of editions that Oxford produced, and there really wasn't much difference in size. I mean, you're talking like quarter-inch differences between each model. So it would make sense for them to kind of, get rid of some of the editions that were very close to other sizes. This one I would imagine probably got replaced by maybe by the Ruby, I'm guessing, because the Ruby's a pretty similar size, but nonetheless, let's keep going. So the cover with the Yapp extended comes out to right at 6.5 inches long, and it is about 4.5 inches wide. As far as the thickness is concerned, it is 1.25 inches. So look at that. It's 1.25 inch Bible, and it's like a full study Bible with tons of helps. Just interesting. It's just so interesting they were able to fit all that in, just albeit a tiny package. Let's go ahead and take a look at the fonts. Wonderful gold gilt. I love that. All right, prepare to be amazed. We're going to get in. All the way down here, we'll use this B. Oh, goodness. And because. Oh, that's lowercase. Let's do uppercase first. The B and because. Oh, you're getting tiny. You're getting tiny. Look at that. It's under 6-point font. Guys, this is not going to be one that is easily read. It appears to be a 5-point font. I don't know, between a 5 and a 5.5. It might be like a 5.25 font because it is a little bit in between. Yeah, probably about a 5.25 font. Goodness. Let's look at the lowercase. This is tiny, man. Use the N and not here. All the way down to a 5. Oh, it's so tiny. Yeah, that appears to be a 5. I don't know. It's close. Probably the same between a 5 and a 5.5. So I'm assuming like a 5.25 point font, 5.25. That is teeny tiny, verging on like needing a microscope or something. Maybe not a microscope, but a magnifying glass to be able to read it. So yeah, teeny tiny. If you guys are interested in a small pocket size edition like this, they are, I don't want to say they're super common. These like much older editions of Oxford Bibles, they seem to just be coming up less and less on eBay. But an Oxford Pearl, if you happen to see it, would be the one. And really they're all over the board. I paid less than $20 for this one, less than $15 at my door for this one. So I think it's just kind of hit or miss, y'all. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, anything like that, please feel free to leave them down below. If you want to see this Bible compared to anything else that I have, please leave it down below. And I'll make a video just for you. But otherwise, Bible buddies, if you could please like, comment, subscribe. Until next time, bye.